So this is a buyer transaction. The seller transaction is similar, but I'll go over that in detail later. But high level, this top section, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. Who the lead is, who the agent is. If you want to add a secondary lead, you can. This clicks back if you need to. It'll go back to the lead record. You plug these dates in as you're doing them. They don't automatically pull from anything because sometimes you might be behind and you need to come in and do it after the fact. So you plug these in as you're going. Property address here, this whole section, property address and transaction status, those are the two fields that you can edit. The rest of these are all automatically pulled from this purchase and sale info tab. So once a buyer or a seller goes under contract, you fill out that P&S tab, and that's going to pop all of the information in here based on who the lender is, who the title company is. The commission tab, similar, once you are doing your commission statement, you fill out that tab, and that's going to pop in your GCI earned and your net commission earned. But the meat of Realficient, and this is probably the main reason I built this system, was to streamline and systematize everything. So it's all of this down here. So for this given buyer transaction, you've got a tasks tab, a reminders tab. I'll go into this shortly. Offers and showings, this is more so for the buyer side. If you want to track how many showings you're going on, how many offers you're writing. I know a lot of agents don't track it, but I actually get a lot of buyers that will ask me, how many homes are we going to look at? How many offers are we going to have to put in before we go under contract? And if you don't track it, it's okay. You can kind of shoot from the hip. But if you want, you can track it as well, and it's all on the agent tracking dashboard. So tasks, this is one of my favorite features. We've got this task template. So out of the box, we will provide you with a pretty thorough copy of what we feel are the tasks that we deal with on a start to finish process, from when we set an appointment all the way through closing. So you click that, and you can customize this to your whatever you need. But you click the select task template, select one here. You can use the out of the box or do your own. And then what it's going to do, it's going to give you all of your tasks. So whether you're a solo agent or if you're a team, you can, I'll go into more detail on that in another video, but you can just see all of your tasks are here. So all of the things, like I have admin help, so they're coming through, they're doing all of this for me, and I know what I need to do, they know what they need to do. This test account is just me and my name. But you got all of your tasks here. By default, it's going to show you only your incomplete, but you can view all tasks completed, etc. So that's a very handy section. If you need to see more info on the specific task, you can plug in all of your specific information. If you have admin help that needs to see exactly how you do something, it's just set it one time and that's it. And again, we're giving you an out-of-the-box one, so all of these tasks by default are in there. This next section, reminders, this is driven from the P&S info. So when you go into first earnest money deposit due, second EMD is due, the inspection, due diligence, you're going to plug dates in on the P&S info when the client goes under contract. It takes a couple minutes, you plug it in, but that's going to throw all of these dates over here. And it's going to also automatically create reminders for you. So those reminders are going to email you. So let's say for the first earnest money deposit, it's going to send you an email a day before, 2 days before, 3 days before. Inspection, when is that due? Same thing. It's going to remind you, hey, this is coming up. So I have a transaction coordinator for our team, and she does a great job doing that, but this is just one added layer. And if you don't have a transaction coordinator, this one certainly will act as kind of like a backup admin TC that you don't necessarily need. The add forms section, this is, you can create whatever forms you want. And you might ask, what are forms? Well, I use this, for instance, for buyers. My default buyer form is, the only additional form I have in here is this buyer consult. So when I sit down with a buyer for the first time, I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions. And I want to get as much information from them as I can so I can do the best I can to try to find them exactly what they're looking for, not waste my time or their time looking, showing a bunch of properties that just don't make sense. So I plug in I've got all of my questions. I meet with them. I do my buyer consult in the office or on Zoom, and I'm just going through asking all of these questions, not like a robot. I mean, it's a conversation, but what's prompting your move? Plug in the info. When do you need to be in your new home? Plug in the info, and so on. And it goes all the way down. And this is, again, out of the box. We provide this form, and you can customize it. You can add more forms here if you want. For instance, if you're working with, homeowners versus investors, you might want to have a separate investor form. And again, I'll go into the form section later, but you can just customize this so you can have an investor form, a homeowner form, a renter form, whatever you want to do, you can customize all that. Offers and showings. So you don't have to track any of this if you don't want to, but I often have buyers that will ask me, Michael, how many homes do we have to look at? How many offers do we have to put in before we go under contract? And for a while, I would just shoot from the hip and say, it's probably 3-4 offers depending on the market we're in. But it was really good to start tracking that. Or once I started tracking it, I could intelligently tell people, we're going to look at probably 7 or 8 homes on average, and you're going to write a couple offers, and then you should get an offer accepted. 2, 3 offers, and I could tell people because I was tracking it. So you don't have to track it if you don't want to. P&S info, I kind of talked about that. Again, it's just once you go under contract or you put that buyer under contract, fill out all of this information, as much or as little as you want, who's holding escrow, all of this stuff, and it's going to then populate all up here and drive your reminders, your transaction-specific reminders. You can also, just jumping back to that section, if you want, you can pop in reminders as well once you've done some P&S info. And then the commission tab, that goes through, you can't do that until you have the P&S info, but that goes through just what is the sale price, what's your commission, et cetera. It's pretty straightforward.